What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and we talk about all types of stuff on this channel. Sometimes we like to talk about pop culture. Sometimes we talk about trending news topics. Other times I like to deep dive into the latest true crime stories. And what I really like doing on this channel sometimes is deep diving into these stories about troubled celebrities, or more specifically, troubled child stars. Because I think we have finally reached a point where we have so many years of evidence that we could refer to, and we have so many examples that we can look at that show us that Hollywood has an extremely negative effect on young people. I mean, how many child stars or former child stars have we lost too early? How many former child stars are dealing with mental health issues and addiction? It's like every other day someone from our childhood is dying too early, and it feels like Hollywood chews up these young people and then they spit them out. We talk about Britney Spears a lot on this channel. Britney Spears was very much a child star. She got her start really early on. I mean, way back before the Mickey Mouse Club even. But yeah, you could talk about the Mickey Mouse Club. Britney Spears was part of the Mickey Mouse Club. And I think it's safe to say that Britney Spears is still dealing with issues from her childhood. Aaron Carter is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. If you were paying attention to Aaron Carter and what Aaron Carter had going on for the last few years, then you probably weren't surprised when you heard the news that he was no longer with us. Now, one child star in particular, he's been dealing with a lot of stuff for a while now. And he's all over the internet. He's been quite controversial with some of the stuff that he says, but no matter how far he has taken it, I gotta say I've been rooting for this guy. I've been hoping, in his corner, hoping, fingers crossed, that he would straighten up, that he would figure it out and he would get his act together. Now, the person I am talking about is Orlando Brown. I'm sure a lot of you all have no idea who Orlando Brown is. But if you're a 90s baby, Orlando Brown was a big part of your childhood. Orlando Brown got his start on, I believe, Major Payne was one of his first roles. He also starred as Eddie in That's So Raven. He was a voice actor for Disney for a while, providing the voice for like Fillmore and one of the voices on The Proud Family. He was in all types of movies back when I was growing up. And for a while now, for years now, things have just been going terrible for him. At this point, he is an addict. He is homeless on the streets. And it all started back when he was a teenager. Back when he was a teenager, he still had a contract working for Disney. This was before Disney was hyper obsessed with grooming kids, and they were still really strict about who they allowed to work for them. Orlando got pulled over with a small bag of weed. He lost his Disney contract, and he lost his future that he had been building on forever. And it's been, downhill since then. If you've been following up with him and his antics, then you probably know what I'm talking about. I will show you all a few clips in just a moment. But the reason I sit here before you all today is because Orlando Brown has just been arrested for DV. Now, it has nothing to do with a wife or a girlfriend or a woman at all. It's actually an altercation that he had with a supposed family member. And I want to go ahead and dive right into this article so I can give you all a better idea of what is going on here. But first, make sure you go to the description of this video or to the pinned comment. Download Swagit and follow me on Swagit. You will automatically be entered into a $100 giveaway. And we just gave away our first $100 to our other giveaway winner today. But anyway, let's go ahead and hop right into this article. Former Disney Channel star Orlando Brown arrested for DV, smiles in mugshot. That's So Raven star previously discussed his struggles with addiction and homelessness on the Dr. Phil show. That's So Raven star Orlando Brown has been arrested on a misdemeanor DV charge, Ohio police said. Officer Torres of the Lima Police Department confirmed to Fox News Digital that the former Disney Channel star was arrested Thursday for DV by threats. An arrest report obtained by People magazine alleges that a person claiming to be a relative said Brown was acting crazy and came at him with a hammer and knife in a threatening manner. The relative also said that Brown had been staying at his home for about 2 weeks because Brown is homeless and he did not want Brown to go to a homeless shelter. Now, just to provide a little bit more details here, this guy was claiming to be Orlando Brown's brother, but I think he's really just a close friend of Orlando Brown. He's renovating, or I guess he works on various homes, and one of the homes he was renovating, he allowed Orlando Brown to stay in because Orlando Brown's going through some difficult times. When he came over to check on Orlando Brown had been trashing the house. Now, this is a house he is renovating, getting ready to sell, or put up for rent, or something like that. Orlando Brown trashed the house. The guy, I think, had an issue with that, obviously. And then Orlando Brown came at him talking crazy, accusing him of all types of wild stuff, like doing something to his girlfriend and all types of stuff that I don't think is even true. Came at him with a knife, going crazy. And to an outsider that doesn't know about this story, that may sound weird to you. But if you've been following up with Orlando Brown, the dude says a lot of crazy things, some of which I believe are true. But other things he says, I think it's for shock value, but also I think he's dealing with this mental health issue that just causes him to just say all types of wild stuff. But let's go ahead and go back into this article. The 35-year-old who starred as Eddie Thomas alongside Raven-Symoné on the popular Disney Channel show That's So Raven from 2003 to 2007 has a long troubled history, including drinking, addiction, and multiple arrests. In 2018, during an episode of Dr. Phil, the actor admitted he had been drinking a lot, using drugs, and selling some stuff. Let's just say that. He also made headlines that year when he got a large tattoo of his former co-star Raven-Symoné on his neck and chest. While speaking with Dr. Phil, Brown said he wanted to clean up for his kids. When asked how many kids he had, he responded, "Quite a bit, but 4 that I know of." He also claimed that Michael Jackson was his father. So yeah, he's come out and said some wild stuff. On the Dr. Phil show, he couldn't even remember the name or the names of his kids. It's really bad. And instead of getting Orlando Brown help, what I've seen is people take advantage of him. People are constantly calling Orlando Brown into their podcast, their radio shows, their YouTube channels to do interviews, to exploit him because they know he's going to say something wild, he's going to say something crazy, and it's going to get the internet abuzz. Here are just a few examples of Orlando Brown going off the chain.
I mean, I told you in the first interview, I mean, she gave me, and then I gave her some, I do, yeah.
What about Prince?
Man, Prince had it coming. The devil came and collected.
Prince had it coming, the devil came and collected. What was he collecting?
What did they sign over?
Oh, so you're saying that Prince signed a...
I'm not saying anything. I'm telling you facts. Okay. I'm not saying, I'm telling you facts. I'm telling you straight facts. He knew what he was doing when he was pacing.
On there. You got a problem with Lil Bow Wow?
I ain't got a problem with Lil Bow Wow. Lil Bow Wow got some bomb ass pussy.
Yo, Shy. Yo, I just want to tell you, bro, like, thanks for recognizing me as a legend, bro. You're a legend yourself, and I mean, I'm gonna just keep it 1,000 with you, brother. You know what I'm saying? I love you, man. I love all your work, man. You already know what's going on, man. The squad, but you're gonna have to really, really address the fact that, you got bomb pussy. Bow. You got to tell people the truth, Bow Wow. Tell people the truth, bro. If you got bomb pussy, you got to embrace that pussy. Wow! You got to do things to let people know that your pussy is empowerment. Bow Bow Wow. You know, I love you, Shot, but I want you to know that my response to you being, you know, doing your show and stuff, congratulations, and your little, you know, your concert you got going on, I want to let you know, man, when you get on stage.
Some real shit out here. You know what I mean? I got in my Diddy mode. I'm sorry. I started licking my lip. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yo, Diddy, you gave me the ooshkash goosmash. You gave me the ooshkash muaf. The smooshmash. Diddy. Yeah, son. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You gave me the ooshkash muash. I love it, yo. I love it.
Now, I don't know about you all, but this just makes me feel terrible. Not only seeing that people, instead of trying to find the help that these people need, they take advantage of them. They capitalize off of these people's mental health issues. It's something that we're seeing with Britney Spears. It's something that's been going on with Orlando Brown, maybe in a different way, but it's been going on with him for years. And like I said, constantly they're calling him in to do more interviews because they know he's going to say something wild that will draw in attention. And some people feel like Orlando Brown is just doing this all for attention. And I do think Orlando Brown wants attention, but I don't think this is all for attention necessarily. Also, I do think that there is some truth in all of the wild and crazy stuff that Orlando Brown says. He drops some truth bombs about Hollywood. And we all suspect that there's some creepy, weird, dark, twisted stuff going on in Hollywood. And that's what makes these child stars go absolutely insane when they get older. But, you know, I think a lot of us know about that aspect, right? The deep, dark secrets of Hollywood. We might not know what those secrets are. We might not know a lot about it, but surface level, I think we know what I'm talking about here. But instead of even diving that deep into these situations, using the word surface level, I think that we could tackle some of these situations from a surface level. Why do these child stars always come out like this? I think one of the reasons, of course, like I said, all the dark, twisted stuff going on in Hollywood. But on the surface level, I think one of the reasons why we see these young people in Hollywood often deal with these issues is because they peak too early in life. Do you understand what I mean by that? By peaking too early in life? You know, as a human being, most of us have goals. Most of us have that hope. At least young people, we have that hope that one day life is going to be better. And that's what keeps us going. One day, maybe we will be more successful. Maybe one day we'll have more money. Maybe one day we'll have more attention. Maybe one day we'll have more fame. Maybe one day we'll have a family. It's the future is what drives a lot of human beings. But imagine being a child and already peaking in life. You've already reached the highest heights that you're going to get. You're 8 years old and you're on movie sets with the biggest stars in Hollywood. You're walking down the red carpet. Everyone knows your name. Fast forward to 10 years later, you can't get a role in Hollywood and no one cares about you anymore. And you're sweeping the floors at the grocery store. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with sweeping floors at the grocery store, but if you're a former child star that has already experienced those peaks in life, I think it could be really stressful, you know, and depressing. So I think that's what happens with a lot of these child stars is they peak so early in life and then they continue to try to, you know, reach that height again, but they never can. Because Hollywood has a track record of eating up these child stars and they spit them out. They want you for as long as you're cute, young, and innocent looking. They might have you on a couple of movies and then they get rid of you. Look at people like Macaulay Culkin. And, you know, I mean, shout out to him because I think he's actually made it to the other side. I'm sure he dealt with his issues. Maybe he's still dealing with some issues. But last time I checked in on him, he's doing better than a lot of child stars. But I think that's what Hollywood does. And I think that's one of these reasons that we see these child stars go off the deep end is because they're trying to reach for something that they can no longer obtain. And it must feel awkward knowing that you reached, you know, the peak of your life basically as a child. And as an adult, you can't add up to what you were as a kid. And it's usually the exact opposite, right? So I do think that has a negative effect on them. And like I said, Hollywood just forgets about these people, casts these people to the side, and often, you know, within their contracts and what have you, they don't even get much money. And you know, Orlando Brown is homeless on the streets. You know, imagine that. While you're at home, comfortable, drinking hot chocolate with your kids, the guy who you used to watch on TV is homeless. And I usually I don't concern myself too much with the problems of celebrities, if you will. But these child stars, they play a critical role in a lot of our lives. You might not know that or acknowledge that, but these people were part of your childhood. These people, even though they might not know this, and you might not think about it in this way, these people were here for you during some of your toughest times. Childhood could be tough for people. I imagine a lot of people used to watch shows that had, you know, Orlando Brown in them, and maybe it made them feel better. You understand what I'm saying? Like, these people were part of our childhoods. These people were part of our lives. And in my opinion, Orlando Brown was part of making our childhoods better. If you were like a 90s baby growing up with those television shows, and then he's just thrown to the side of the road. And I feel like we have to do better in a way as a society not to allow that to happen. You know, I see so many people who encourage this weird behavior and they applaud it, but let's start having this conversation that these people are people too. And, you know, I don't want to see someone on the Disney Channel, you know, grow up watching someone on the Disney Channel and then they just get thrown to the side and they're a homeless and people laugh at them. They turn into a running joke. I feel like we could do more for these people. I just think that we as a society should stop encouraging and enabling this, and maybe we should get people help instead of just watching people crash out. That's what it's like, this ongoing revolving door. It's a process. And it's almost like it happens on purpose. Hollywood, they get a hold of a kid when they're really young. They put you in movies. They work you to death. And then they get rid of you and they kind of pass you on to the tabloids. So what happens is they have you while you're cute. They got you while you're a kid. They're putting you in all of these movies. Then you get a little bit older, and instead of making money off of you being in these movies, now other people are making money off of you because you're having mental breakdowns, and now TMZ and, you know, all of the tabloids are making money off of you that way. It's almost like they're farming kids in Hollywood. And I need to make a full video about this because there is a process here. You have the child star. Then you give them the sitcom. You know, then you give them a little record deal. And then they get older and you allow them to do like Miley Cyrus and become, you know, do a lot of really provocative things. And then next thing you know, they crash out and they have issues with drugs, or they're having mental health issues, and now the tabloids take over and then they exploit them. And it's just a constant life of getting exploited. And at this very moment, Orlando Brown is probably still getting exploited. He'll probably get out of jail and do another round of interviews where people will exploit him. So it's a very sad situation. I could talk about it all day, obviously. I hope this dude gets help. I am rooting for him. Like I said, I've been rooting for him all along. I do still think that these people can be saved and these people's lives can be turned around, but not when you have the whole world basically waiting for you to act crazy again. And, you know, I feel like maybe Orlando Brown feels like the only way he can, you know, have some form of relevance is when he's saying off the wall stuff. But let me know how you feel about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.